It's going down like 4 flat tires, man. You dig what I'm saying? You too near me not to hear me. Pick up the video I got coming at you right now. Part 2. Alpo Martinez gives you a tutorial how he kills friends and close associates in the drug game and the trap is what they call it nowadays. Back then, could have called the trap the same thing. That's what they all fell for. Alpo Martinez gives description of how he goes about killing one of his close associates, close friends, the same guy that he gave the head nod to kill Rich Porter. He also gives that same head nod to kill BiGhead Gary. BiGhead Gary is the same person that got the okay from Alpo Martinez to put 2 in the back of his head while in the van of the streets of Harlem. Here it is, raw and uncut. About to give it to you raw like Soulja Slim. Albums, no limit, you dig? This is, I want to label this one right here, man. No, Judas. Niggas learn you just to hurt you. I'm like, no, Judas. A verse off a song titled Blessings by Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Rest in piss, Alpo Martinez. It's a cold game. Let's get into it.
In D.C., he was a short kind of guy. He was about 5'1", 5'2", real slim in the body and a real big head. Okay. But he was getting money though. People didn't know he was getting money. At that time, he was probably holding about $1 million, $2 million, and people didn't know that he was holding like that. He was getting it, and he had a real short man complex. Okay, and like I said, we wasn't just business partners. I knew a lot of his business. I knew his family. He knew my family in D.C. and in New York. You know, I knew his son's mother. I knew where he laid his head. He knew where I laid my head sometimes. You know, I knew some of his stashes. He knew some of my stashes. We became real close. So, and he was also the one with me with Rich. Okay. So we had a lot of secrets on one another. And he had the short man complex, and he started to become real jealous with me as far as through the people, because the people used to, since I was...
This is the thing with me. What I've noticed about Alpo Martinez, he finds an excuse to why he does what he does to you, why he kills you. Rich Porter, it was a bad dope deal. He took some dope from some man that didn't even involve Alpo Martinez, but he felt like he was supposed to have in, and because he didn't have in, he felt it was a bad business deal. In one spot, got him, shot him, is what he did, how he did him, how he got him. Rich Porter, rest in peace. Alpo Martinez, rest in pitch. You bitch, you. Down at avenues of Hard Knocks, here he finds a problem with BiGhead Gary. He thinks BiGhead Gary is jealous of him. He's not even explaining how he might feel like that. But he's going to give a quick description of how he called his wife a bitch in a jokingly way and did not kill him right then and there. But he used that as the fuel, as the powder goes into the musket to get this shit done. Dusk it and bust it and leave a nigga dusted and disgusted, you dig? It's Alpo Martinez back at his snakish ways again. Let's see what he talking about, my man.
Alpo, people used to see him with me all the time and think he was working for me. Right. Because not until I came to D.C. really, he started coming out with like Benzes and all, because he seen what I was at, so he started busting out with little Benzes and all that type of 300 coupes and all that. Right. And I always had the reputation if you let me your car, Antoine, automatically that was my car. Right. That was my car.
One thing I noticed about this man, you know, what I noticed about a lot of narcissist people, everything revolves around them. He said, man, if you let me drive your car, that is my car now. If that ain't some Debo shit, give me that chain, you bitch, you. Nigga, my mama gave me that chain, mother. No, she didn't. It's mine now, punk. It seemed to be a lot of, you know, taking and faking going on, you dig? Let's jump more into what's going on through the mind of Alpo Martinez, part 2.
He seen you with it like, oh yeah, he driving poker. So time went on. One day, me and him and one of his workers was sitting at a table at a restaurant having a sandwich, and he called my wife a bitch. He called my wife a bitch because he was like, man, you still with that crazy bitch? And I just looked over at him, and I could have took it a little better if it was just me and him. But one of his workers was there, right? And I kind of like gave him that look like, yo, you really disrespected me right now. So he seen her. She was coming to look for me down South because she knew I hung out down there. So the kid, Gary, seen her. He was like, yo, there go that bitch. Look at that bitch. Who's she looking for? She must be looking for Poe. And my man Wayne heard him say this. And he beat me. He beat me then. He was like, yo, Gary was down.
And the man Wayne, a heavy hitter from the DC city streets, Wayne Perry. One of the individuals Alpo Martinez happened to tell on to the government to reduce time in sentencing. Wayne Perry was a heavy hitter from the DC city streets. Might give you a video on some of that as well, maybe not. But it's funny how Wayne Perry had mentioned how he was going to kill somebody in honor of Alpo Martinez, in favor of Alpo Martinez, because of the relationship they had on the streets at the time. Not knowing the irony of all that to be said, that man would drop a dime on the man. Just one good time. Wayne Perry now is doing time and is never seeing the light of day outside them jail walls. It's a sad situation. Let me tell you, the streets aren't meek or bleak. Leave the fuck them alone. What I'm trying to say is don't fuck with them streets, man. Them streets ain't it. You dig? Let this be a lesson. You can learn from this shit. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, talking trash about you and disrespected your wife. I was gonna kill him right there, but I said, let me get with you first. Because I was like, no, I still got love for the kid. No, he's just frustrated right now. Then we had a lot of secrets on one another, and I always told them before this happened, I said, you know, we know so much about one another that if we was to ever get into any type of confusion or anything, one of us would have to leave. And I'm definitely not going back to New York because I'm getting money.
Exactly why. It brings me back to that verse. Niggas learn you just to hurt you. I'm like, no, Judas. What I mean by that, man, you could be in these streets, man, with one of your dogs, man. Y'all done came up from the sandbox to grown men and been around each other day and night, knowing each other's strengths and weaknesses. But you use that flaw, knowledge you have of your boy to destroy, to take advantage of. You become opponents of one another and not homies of one another. It's a cold game. Peep the game, pay attention. Part 2, Alpo Martinez gives you a tutorial how he killed BiGhead Gary, who he had killed Rich Porter. You dig? It's a cold, very cold, disturbing, demonic, twisted game in these streets. It ain't no game in these streets. Don't be no lame in these streets. You dig? It's really real out here. You heard me?
So the only thing else is one of us will have to die. He was like, yo, I feel you, because we knew a lot about one another. So now I got to...
Niggas learn you just to hurt you. I'm like, no, Judas. Like I said, Nipsey Hussle, track called Blessed, titled, Niggas learn you just to hurt you. I'm like, no, Judas. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle.
This deal coming up with this connect, like, yo, this crazy big deal, like, yo, they want me to put up, like, I had to put up, like, maybe about 2 million. They was going to hit me with, like, probably about, I say anywhere from, like...
I want to go ahead and skip to my Lou on this a little bit. Push the fast forward button a little bit. And get to where he decides to take BiGhead Gary on a ride with a few good men of his picks him up in the van.
Put a deal together in New York for this, that, and gonna put Gary. I said, what the hell? I said, how you know? He said, well, man, my man called me down from law, and he said, Gary told him that, yo.
So Gary is running his mouth about some shit Alpo got going on a business deal, supposedly, allegedly, and this is one of the reasons why he wants to get rid of him. You dig? So
I got 2 pistols with me now. I said, all right, I was with my man Wayne and like 2 other dudes that were under my man Wayne. So that was our perfect opportunity. My man Wayne was like, yo, this is it. Make it happen. Productions. So we go.
They go and pick BiGhead Gary up in a van, not a truck. And it's just his luck that it turns out to be a van, as in the same manner he decides to pick Rich Porter up with BiGhead Gary. Now they picking BiGhead Gary up in the van. Come on, little man, take this trip with us, man. We found some of them fools that was tripping on you. That's what was going on, how they got him in the van. All the while, BiGhead Gary and Alpo Martinez weren't seeing eye to eye at this time. It never crossed his mind that something was going to happen. So I would assume him getting in the same, in the van in the same manner Rich Porter did. This shit is deep, man. It's not meat, nor is it bleak. The streets will rock your ass to sleep, you dig?
We jump in this kid's MPV van, because we used to like using MPV van because they had the little side compartments. We could throw the pistols in there if the police pull us over. Okay. Real quick, so we jump in the MPV van, so I'm driving, because since I was like the best driver, so we go meet the kid Gary, because it's a perfect opportunity. Don't nobody know he's with us now. And when he come up missing, we can always be like, man, you know, I knew how to do it, not quick. Okay. So we go get him. Boom. So we go get him. He gets into the MPV van. He parks his car, whatever. He parks his truck. He had the truck at the time. He parks his truck. I met him on, Florida Avenue. I go meet him on Florida Avenue by a Wendy's, I think it was. Okay. We get a little revolver out of the stash, and I give it to the dudes that's sitting in back of my man Gary. So my man Gary, he's in the middle, but he don't know that we done slipped the revolver to the back to the kid who's gonna hit him in the head. We ran for about 5-10 minutes after we get the gas. Bang, my man hit him. I give the signal through the rearview mirror. My man hit him with the revolver, 2 in the head. All you hear is, once he hit him,
Boy, that's cold. Almost the same manner, in the same way, same sound Rich Porter made when he got shot with a .357 to the head 2 times. It's a cold game out here, man. I can't say it enough. You tough ass bitch, you bitch, you lies that these streets ain't for nobody. Leave them alone. Come on home, take care of your family. You know, make some dinner for your kids and your baby mammy, you dig? It's that serious out here, man, and that's simple, you dig?
The kid Gary was getting kind of sleepy because we was about to be like, yo, we ain't gonna catch these dudes. So, Gary was getting kind of sleepy, so he's like dozed off for a minute. So he never even seen it or felt it coming. So the kid hit him with the revolver, bow, so the bullets don't go nowhere because in the revolver, they don't pop out. Okay. So he hit him in the head twice. Gary, he winds up shitting on himself. Okay. From his muscles relaxing.
That nigga said, peep this. Like, you could hear it. He's almost excited, and it feels good for him to be able to explain this situation that happened between him and one of his close friends. It's very sick, demented, and twisted to me in my perception. But it makes sense to him. You could tell all this makes sense. There was no other way to take care of these situations. That's why I say you gotta watch the company you keep. Good company, boys and girls. Bad company can corrupt good character. My mistake. I had to say that correctly. Bad company can corrupt good character out here. You heard me. It happens all the time. And who's to say Alpo Martinez couldn't have made something of himself if it was done the right way? Press play. Let's go.
Okay. So he's stinking up the car and all that. So that's how the thing came about, that his dick was chopped off. So we had to find some woods. So I had to find somewhere to dump him at. So we wound up taking him in this park over on 16th Street in Northwest. Okay. I don't know if it's Potomac Park. I think it's called Potomac Park or something. So we wound up taking him over there. And I said, yo, man, we're going to leave him in the woods.
This man has a smile of a devil. His teeth shine. They pearly white. Alligator teeth. Snake-eyed tears. You dig? Alligator tears for snake skin. You dig? Man, this shit is deep.
So I said, yo. So we pull over in this real dark. I said, yo, take off his clothes, man. So they won't spot him through the clothes and all that. Take off his clothes and leave him naked in the woods. So we do that, and we dragging him through the woods naked. So he gets a couple of scratches on his body and his face and on his penis because we taking him through the woods. We dragging him. So that's how it came about that they thought we chopped off his dick and all that. And I thought where we left him at was real cool, but
I thought where we left him at was real cool. Everybody plays a fool. Ooh. Maybe cruel. Ooh. Everybody. Hey, man, don't let your fool mistake be the last mistake, man. You did. Pay attention to what you're doing. Stay the fuck about them streets, man. Yeah.